Welcome back to The Narrative. I'm your storyteller, Callistra Faria. The creative industry, one of the pillars on which the Grenada government, led by Deacon Mitchell, is seeking to build its transformation agenda. A major step in that plan moving forward recently when the government of Grenada signed an agreement with the T.A. Marisha Community College in Grenada, as well as the Ministry of Tourism, the Department of Tourism, to provide and scholarships for people in the creative industry so that they can train in the specific areas and enhance their skills. Number of scholarships being offered and specifically designed programs being offered at the college from the 18th of September, and an agreement was signed recently at a ceremony. Joining me on the narrative now is JENNEL LEWIS. She is the project officer attached to the office of the Grenada Office of Creative Affairs, which is a newly created entity that has been set up with the new administration, and that is headed by Orlando Romaine, who is an advisor in the Ministry of Economic Development, under which the Creative Office falls. Jenna, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me this morning, Callistra. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm doing okay. Not bad. Not bad. It's very hot, but I'm hydrating. I'm drinking my water and trying to battle the heat wave.
All right, well, fair
and
enough.
and what's hot now is the creatives. We saw Unleash happen. Unleash was this huge symposium that was held at the Grenada Grand Beach Resort in Grand Anse a few months ago by the Office of Creative Affairs. And that sort of put the roadmap together of the direction that the administration wants to take in making the creatives a major part of the economic development of the country. And a big step being taken now with the signing of the agreement with the T. Marisha Community College. Training is an area where we have to really catch up, not just in the creatives, but everywhere. What are the nuts and bolts of this agreement? I know that 100 scholarships are being offered, but what's there to it further than that?
Okay, thanks so much. So, as you stated, with Unleashed, Unleashed sort of catapulted everything that we wanted to get in motion. And one of the recommendations that did come from Unleash was more specialized trainings for creatives. So, this agreement with TAMCC, it allows creatives to attend and do certain courses. It's only two courses for this semester and two courses for the second semester. And then in 2024, you'll see a full associate's degree program being rolled out for creatives. It'll be the Creatives and Cultural Industries Associate's degree program, and that would be offered from the academic year 2024 to 2025. So that'll be the first launch. The good thing about these individual courses that are being offered right now, in semester one, we have Introduction to Entertainment Law, and then we have Introduction to Entrepreneurship for Creative Industries. The good thing about these courses is that once you complete it, you receive a certificate upon completion, and you also have these credits that can be applied to the full associate degree if you so desire. So once the creative signs up and they're like, you know what, I need to get more into this. This would help me develop my skills, my abilities, my business. And they do the courses and they decide, I want to get a degree in this. These courses that they have done, the credits will now apply to the full associate's degree.
And the entertainment law, that's interesting because we do not have many entertainment, if any at all. Actually, I don't know any in Grenada. Outside, I do, but not here. Entertainment lawyers, and that is a key aspect for the creative industry, particularly for artists and people who own intellectual property. And it's one of the areas, one of the structures that we really need to strengthen if we're going to seriously move forward with the creative industry as a major part of the economy. Where people need to protect we see, okay, I have a pair of shoes, it's property, but I sang a song, it's not something you can touch and feel, and then people don't realize you own it and it's yours. I remember recently someone did an ad to promote their program, and they used my face in it. And I called and I said, no, you can't use me in a promo for your show. And
Right.
they said to me, well, get a lawyer if you want me to take it down. Um, so, and I didn't want to have to go through the hassle. But this is a simple thing here now, but these things can cost a lot of money. You can lose a lot of money. Um,
Right.
and so intellectual property issues, are those going to be part of the training that's available?
Definitely. So for the introduction to entertainment law, the various areas that are going to be covered are things like intellectual property, digital entertainment, social media laws and their constraints, and certain ethics and values as it relates to creative industries. Because as you said, you make a shoe, it's tangible, you touch it, it's yours. But then how does this apply now when you operate in a digital space, when you operate as a creative where your intellectual property or your thoughts and your ideas? So these are things that are going to be covered. They'll also be introduced to the legal framework as to how they operate as a creative in Grenada and in the Caribbean. So it'll touch on all of these things because it's a thing. It's a thing for creatives. It's something that they need to be aware of, and we're hoping that there'll be a lot of push. A lot of people are going to sign up, and a lot of people are going to apply for the scholarships because 100 scholarships are available. That's a lot. Once you sign up for the course and you apply for the scholarship, the process is simple. So we want a lot of the creatives to look at this as a way to develop their skills, empower themselves to gain the knowledge so that they can know what are their rights operating in this space.
And outside of the 100 scholarships, which I disagree with you, it's not really a lot, given the amount of creatives that we have. Did you see how many people were down at Grand Beach? The amount
We
of people that we
saw.
have, and young people who would need to go to college. A creative who is 60 years old may have already done all of the training and don't need to. But we have a lot of young people in the creative sector. So two or 300 might sound better. Um,
Based on the registration, we're always open for advisement. So based on the students have to register with TAMCC first, and then they apply for the scholarship. But then remember, this is just for the courses that are offered right now. When the associate's degree program is rolled out in 2024, it will be under right now the agreement that the government has for the free tuition. It will be one of those programs that will qualify for that. So when they want to go for the full associate's degree program, then that is available. But for right now, with the courses that are offered, the two courses for this semester, it's 100 for now. But we're hoping a lot of people register, and they twist our arms.
why are we starting with a certificate course and not going straight into the associate's degree program? Why do we have to wait a year?
It can be because the courses are newly being offered, and you want to see how it is they would go, how it is they would perform, what's the buy-in. Maybe it can be that you offer this course in the first semester, but you might need to switch it up when you're actually offering the full program. There's not a one word answer for that, or there's not a one sentence answer for that. But it's various things that are happening to make sure that when the full program is rolled out, it is rolled out and it's perfect for our creatives.
And registration, there's a registration deadline as well that people need to be aware of at TAMCC. That's what, next Tuesday or so?
Yes, so registration started on the 6th. So registration already started this week, so this Wednesday, and it runs all the way to next Tuesday, which is the 12th at TAMCC. So students would go to TAMCC. The only thing or the only documentation that you need is a valid ID. There's no prerequisites for the course or anything. You need a valid ID. You go to TAMCC in the School of Continuing Education, the teacher education block. You go right there. Miss Mauricia Japal, she is the point of contact, and registration is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So from 9 to 3 on today, well, Monday or Tuesday, you go to TAMCC and you'll be able to register for the courses.
Now, the government is offering 100 scholarships. Is it 100 places? Because I'm thinking more than 100 people may register. Do they get, is there an option where they can just pay their own fees and attend the certificate courses?
Yes. So the courses, though they are specialized and tailored for creatives, they are open to everybody and anybody. If you
No, no,
see
no, no.
an
What I'm asking is if more than 100, because the government is the scholarships, they is provided for 100 people. But what happens
right,
if 120 creatives sign up, register for the program? What
and
happens
if
to
they
the other
want to pay for
20?
themselves,
Yeah,
if they
do they
if
pay for themselves, or is it that the course is locked into 100 and the first 100 are the
no,
ones who will
the
get in?
course there's not, so from our end there is not a cap on the course. So TAMCC would register the participants if it is that that particular course. So there's two courses. So if one could hold 50 and the other could hold 50, or one could hold 60 and the other could hold 60, once we get the applications for the scholarships, we'll provide it that way. If it is that students want to pay, the price of the course is $660 per course.
Per course over what period? For a year? How long is a certificate
Per
course? What's the duration?
Right. So the courses are 7 weeks. So they're 7 weeks and they take on a blended model. So 1 day per week they attend on site, and 2 days per week the classes are virtually. And it's in the evening time. So we're trying to facilitate the people who are working, or if it is that they're engaged in their creative pursuits during the day and they have more time in the afternoon, they'll be able to attend the classes. So two virtual, one in person over the course of 7 weeks. So entertainment law starts on the 18th of September and that runs for 7 weeks. I believe there's a 1 week break, and then the introduction to entrepreneurship for creative industries starts in November. I believe November 14th. I could be mistaken on the date, but it's about the second week in November that course starts, and that runs another 7 weeks. And then in January, there would be two additional courses offered, which is marketing and communications and digital media. TAMCC has not given us the schedule for those courses, but we do know that they will be offered in the semester two of this academic year.
And then in September, in August of next year, August, September of next year, the associate's degree course begins.
Will be rolled out, correct? Yes. And the full details of that will be forthcoming and so on. So in 2024, creatives can look out for a full associate's degree program tailored to their specific needs.
Okay, so we would see the same courses that are being offered now under the certificate program. Those would now be offered as
Yeah, so
associate
those would
degree
be in,
content.
those would Yeah, so those would be incorporated as part of the degree. But if someone would have already completed the course and they desire to sign up and apply for that degree program, then the credits for the course would be applied to the program. Or there might be someone who does not see the need to go ahead and do a full associate's degree program, but they think that this course is something that they're interested in, and perhaps the marketing and communications one, they might be interested in it. They sign up for these two and they leave it at that, and they're satisfied with the outcome and the knowledge that they gained.
Has TAMCC said how many credits each course is worth?
No, we have not been given that information as yet.
And what about registration? Have you been monitoring it? Is it gaining traction? Is it
Right. So
overfilled? What's happening?
we've been told verbatim that registration looks very promising. So we're supposed to get a full list, sorry, of the name of the registrants so that we can cross-reference it to the scholarship applications, because we have been getting a few people filling up the application forms. So they said it looks promising, and we are optimistic that people are going to sign up for it. We're getting the word out. We have multiple posts on social media. That's why we're doing this program with you here now, so that we can get the word out so that people can see how important this is towards the creatives. We also have a database of creatives that are registered. So once you register as a creative with the Office of Creative Affairs, you are in our database. Even if you would have attended any of our functions and so on, we capture your information. So we send mass emails out we have been getting a lot of interest. We have been getting replies seeking additional information. As you requested, the class times, the duration, the period. So there is a lot of buzz around it, and we just want people to go ahead and just register and then apply for the scholarship.
And they're going to be daytime classes or evening classes? I don't
The
understand.
for the courses right now, it is evening classes. So it is 3 days per week, one virtual, which is on Mondays, and then Wednesday and Friday is the online classes. They'll do it online in the evening time.
And so this is a big step that has been taken, but what else has been happening since Unleash to engage creatives and particularly the young ones? Because not really hearing much. And I was so excited about Unleash.
Okay, so well, we are doing we're hustling and bustling. Just last week, we had a consultation meeting. It was held in GIDC. Unfortunately, due to venue constraints, we weren't able to accommodate as much people as we would have liked. But it was available on Zoom. So once you RSVP'd, you had the Zoom. But we had a series of consultation. We had a consultation meeting. Sorry, not a series. We had one in particular, and there was presentations from Kaipo, and there was also presentations from the cooperatives office, because we're trying to get creatives now to decide or at least hear their options on forming cooperatives or associations, how it is that you're going to come together and make sure that you as a collective have a voice. So that's what the consultation last week was about. We had it was well attended. We had a few interviews after, and so on. So we're doing that. In the process, we're also working on a business development fund so that creatives can get access to concessionary loan financing, grants, and so on, any training opportunities that are available for them. So we are working behind the scenes. We're putting the plans in motion. The wheel is rolling, but it might take a while before you see it. But there's a lot happening behind the scenes.
I hope I see it before it comes. I don't want to get my feet run over. Now, talking about
Soon.
talking about financing, one of the things I've noticed is that people, they make this whole thing, oh, there's funding and there's grant funding and there's low interest, and then they offer people $5,000, $3,000, you know, maybe $10,000 on a good day. Those amounts are peanuts for any kind of business development, um, unless you're doing sugar cake in a tray. God bless the sugar cake ladies. I enjoyed their sugar cake in primary school. But is the office, and I don't know if you can speak to this, but are you looking at getting big money support for people in a creative industry in Grenada, particularly people who make stuff, where are we looking at that, or is it the same? Or you can get $5,000 from GIDC, or you can get $5,000 from GDB. Those are, angel funding, venture capital, proper money so that they can do stuff.
That is the hope. As you said, you don't know if I can speak on it, but that is the hope. Even when we talk about the Business Development Fund and the projects or the ventures that the money would go towards, we want it to be for significant capital investments or significant expansion and transformation. So we don't want, you just get a little small thing here and then, you're stagnant. We want it to be that whether it is you need this amount of equipment and so on, something that would make you significantly transform your business. Well, as a new business, then it's not transformation, it's putting it in motion. But significant capital investment is what we're looking to fund. So the short answer for your question is yes, we want to be able to give them what it is that they need to be sustainable, not just some to just take you on to the next and then you have a drought until you get a bit of cash injection. You have to be able to sustain your business and keep going and keep rolling. So that's what we're looking at, and that's the the most I can answer from my position.
Well, it sounds good because doing that means, I think sometimes the system is designed to, you decide you're this small and we're going to keep you this small. And that keeps the country back because a lot of good ideas get lost, and a lot of people who can make it out of this generational poverty that the Prime Minister talks about, that we need to get out of, can't get out of it because the people who've got their hands on the resources assume that you're Miss So-and-so daughter from up the road. So $5,000 when they're around the table planning and deciding what must be done and what must be given, someone that says, "Oh, give them $5,000 because well they're small enough to think $5,000 is big," and
I'm sure. Do you think that's what happens?
and that's a no, because we can find resources, and I know that this is a conversation I should probably be having with Orlando, so we won't take it much further. I got you. But you see people getting large sums for import businesses, and the creatives are struggling to even find financing. But the investment fund that you're talking about, which sounds really great, where would the source of funds come from? Or that's a question for Orlando too. How are we hoping
That would be
to fund
that
it?
would be a that would be a question for Orlando. However, in the budget last year, $1 million was allocated in funding for creatives. So it's just a matter of putting it together pretty soon. Remember, I told you it's in the motion. Pretty soon,
That's
it'll
that,
be
that's
rolled.
that's that's not even enough for 5 creatives, darling. But
But that
as
is
we
because, but Kalestra, so that amount came from the government. And then now, as you say, going out to find angel investors, venture capitalists, one of the other aspects or one of the other arms as part of this fund too is also educating financial institutions as to how it is that they appraise a creative business. Sometimes you're not able to see the tangible collateral and so on. So one of the aspects of that is to also educate them on to how they can go ahead and appraise a creative business and be able to take the risk, quote unquote risk, when it comes to offering them financing in the traditional way of getting a traditional business loan, looking at somebody in the creative sector, a creative practitioner as a business, and being able to apply it that way. So it's a lot of work to be done. A lot of things, as I said, are in motion in the background to put it out there because we really do want our Grenadian creatives to succeed.
and of course GDB can be a major player in all of this.
Correct, yes.
That is one of the reasons why they exist, actually. Now there's the investment forum that's coming up in the Bahamas in later on this year.
October.
That's where a lot of the kind of conversation about marrying money and ideas can take place. Are we participating? Is the Office of Creative Affairs in particular putting on a show there? Are you going?
That is something that we'll have to discuss as a team. I do know, however, that GIDC will be attending. The Investment Promotion Agency of GIDC will be attending, and the creative economy is one of the priority sectors for investment. So, in their promotion of Grenada as an investment location, they would also promote investment opportunities in Grenada within all the sectors of the priority sectors. So, that is something that we have to discuss in terms of having our representation from Grenada Office of Creative Affairs there. However, we will also liaise with GIDC to have a discussion on what opportunities can be pushed, meetings, contacts, etc.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me on The Narrative. And just to remind everybody, Jennell was telling us about the agreement between the T. Marisha Community College and the Government of Grenada, as well as the Tourism Authority, to provide courses in the school starting on the 18th. The 18th, right? I did remember,
Yes,
of September.
Introduction to Entertainment law starts on the 18th. Registration ends on the 12th
On the 12th, and
of
that's
September.
Tuesday. That's Tuesday.
Correct.
Ends on Tuesday. So people have until Tuesday to register for this opportunity. Thank you so much for joining me on The Narrative, Jennell. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This is The Narrative. I'm your storyteller, Callistra Faria. That was JENNEL LEWIS, who is the project officer at Grenada's Office of Creative Affairs, the Grenada government announcing the creative industry to be one of its major focus for transformation and economic development in the country. More when we come back.